Question number 3. Please deliberate. Should birth control in all forms be banned to increase birth rates and improve social dynamics, as well as prevent its potential negative evolutionary effect?
It's not clear that birth control is the primary factor insofar we want people to marry and choose to have kids rather than have kids as an unintentional side effect of having sex. If anything, the solution is to work with hypergamy, which is to say ensure women within the same genetic class as a man can always realistically increase her status by getting married to him. We have suggested policies to that end. For one, ending civil rights law and feminist propaganda will ensure women stop being flooded into work that they're worse at than men, which is most work. Education reform will terminate ideological fields women are attracted to that do increase status under the current regime but do not teach students anything actually productive. My own suggestion on top of that is penalizing any business or school that reduces the likelihood of women of reproductive age getting married and having children appropriately penalized. No, I said it twice. As they're imposing on the nation's future. The costs will sink onto the women themselves, who would thus be disincentivized from seeking alternatives to marriage. But all that said, there are very good reasons to ban hormonal pill, in particular because of it changing female psychology, which men they're attracted to, and because of environmental pollution. They're making the frogs gay.
Yeah, I would, Jesus, Martin, you're so good. The pill is a really bad thing. I'm not sure how much of our current crisis is the pill, but I think it's a lot. I would be comfortable banning the pill without question, given the knowledge we have today. I think the morning after pill is a fine answer, but I'm not, but which would cause a temporary thing. As for abortion, you know, my statement on abortion is that it's actually it's eugenic in large part, which is what Martin was trying to get at the beginning. So I'm not really a problem with it. My problem with abortion, with anti-abortion protest, is only that my agenda with pro-abortion is they're claiming it's not killing. It is killing. Sorry. Whether we want to say it's murder and therefore punishable or prohibitable, that's a political question. But it's a killing because you're doing a manual operation to interfere with the development of an organism. So it's a killing, but is it murder and it should be outlawed? I don't know that answer. I'd prefer not to get rid of abortion myself for simply pragmatic reasons. And I think Martin is right, and he's usually right, except when I want to tease him. Is that the problem is that we've created an incentive structure that has made it undesirable to have children. So I have some things that are, men are responsible for taxes. We pay almost all the relevant taxes. Men are the only net contributors to taxes. We absorb most of the damage, environmental damage in the universe. We have a Y chromosome, which means we're less able to repair it, which is the primary reason we live shorter lives. It takes us longer to mature into being able to do all that stuff. And we must, whenever there is conflict and war, we absorb the damage of that as well. So men are absorbing a great deal of damage on behalf of women, and though women, of course, make excuses for it. And so, in some sense, the only trade between men and women for this issue is that why isn't it just as much a duty to have children as it is to have a duty to pay taxes and to fight in wars and to maintain the commons? and to bad, because that's the only capital that women can contribute that compensates for the losses otherwise. So I'm not comfortable saying women have to have kids, but to some degree, unless you have kids, you're a free riding parasite on the people who do. Because and the status which Martin brought up is only the first part of it. So I'm kind of concerned. I mean, my view is if a woman doesn't have children, she has no say, right, in the polity. And because there's the evidence is she's not capable of making that say because of her own intuitions. And secondly, that why should a parasite have influence any more than a criminal have influence on the voting within the polity? So I'm sure women don't like me saying this, but we all have duties, rights, obligations, and duties. And I don't think one of our rights is to parasitically depend upon the productivity of people who do produce and do without. So I'm not sure why that kind of communist redistribution from people who bear the cost of having families to the people who don't is permissible. So yeah, so I would say Martin's completely correct here. So I think what's the question is, should birth control in all forms? No, because Martin's right, it's not really the birth control that's the problem. And the number increase in abortions is due to the availability of abortions, not necessarily to the number of offspring that would be produced if abortion wasn't available. So I think that's a mistake. So we have to fix the incentive systems, and if you look at our work, that's a lot of what we've done is restore the incentive systems. I mean, if you even took off um, the restored the blame and divorce, ended community property, child support, and alimony, that would have a huge impact on a lot of things. And if we taxed people for not having children and directly redistributed that to people who are, then we would provide an encouragement. And if we stopped this problem we're having we're forgetting that the human adaptability to a mate is front loaded, meaning we're all sexually and sexually, personality, socially, economically, and politically adaptable when we're 16, 14, 16 to 22. And that goes down faster after that. And so by delaying marriage, you're also delaying the incentive to find someone that you can have children and family formation with and have that endure. And so the solution, which is quite counterintuitive, the optimum solution, of course, is to have girls have children as soon as they're fertile and build families as early as they can in their fertility cycle, because it's as early as they can in their adaptive cycle. So, and if we're in the fertile and adaptive cycle, we can form stable families for longer. How do you do that? Well, it used to be that you had family support to make these things happen. And maybe that's what we need to do, is add more support to the families, to persistent families, and deprive people who don't work in this manner of it. So there's a bunch of social engineering we can do that converts the economic incentives to hyper consume to economic incentives to hyper produce. That's my start. So again, Martin's right.